I adjust the old saying, buy your second house first, to buy your second insert electronics first. Or, why is there never funds to buy the right gear at the beginning, but there's always funds to buy gear twice? Greg, thank you very much for the comment. I think that is a fantastic adaptation of buy your second house first, and in most cases, I think that does hold true. If we're talking about a cell phone, if we're talking about a computer, if we're talking about general tech that somebody knows they're going to use, I absolutely agree. Buy something right, buy something of high quality that is going to treat you well for years, as opposed to a low quality item that's just more affordable, that is going to fall apart, that you will have to replace. But the reason that I want to push back on you a little bit is if somebody is getting into a creative endeavor, if somebody is getting into a hobby, I don't necessarily think it's the best course of action for them to go out and buy the highest end gear that's available, to buy the highest and most expensive gear that they can afford. Because what happens if they get that equipment and then they jump into the hobby only to realize they hate it? Yes, I suppose they could turn around and sell that gear, but they're going to lose a bit of money. I think the better course of action would be to either rent gear if that's possible, or buy some affordable gear to see if you enjoy it. For a lot of people, when they ask me what gear they should start with for podcasting or YouTube, I am recommending affordable gear like the Behringer XM8500 and a UM2, or maybe the Samson Q2U, maybe the Elgato Wave 3, which are all between $50 to $120. I think that's an acceptable entry point to try out a hobby to see if you like it, and you don't have too much money sunk in. Rather than going out and saying, yes, buy the SM7B, buy a SSL 2 Plus, buy a cloud lifter, buy a $150 boom arm, and then get some lighting and some cameras. Just spend $100 as opposed to $1,000 to see if you like it. Then if you do enjoy it, after 6 months, after you've been doing it for a while, then consider upgrading. Maybe have a goal that you have. Maybe have an accomplishment that you want to get to prior to upgrading. Once I release 100 episodes, then I'll go out and buy the microphone that I want, the setup that I want, the camera that I want, the light that I want, as opposed to, I'm going to buy that final gear before I even know if I like it. So that's the only reason I'm pushing back. I don't necessarily think it's the right course of action to jump in the deep end right away. I think sometimes it's smart to dip your toe in the water with some affordable stuff to see if you enjoy it before dropping hundreds or thousands on the gear. Even though technically, yes, you could sell that gear if you end up not liking it. But $100 is a lot better than $1,000.